Okay, we are back. As I mentioned earlier, one of the great theaters that ever came through Dayton is the Victoria Theater. And the greatest representative they could ever have is Diane Schoeffller-Warren, everybody. Hey, oh. How are you, Diane? Good to see you, Miss Pretty Smile Lady.
You're so good to my ego.
Oh, you're just saying that because it's true. No. Bless her heart, we had a cancellation, and she came at the last minute. We love her. Things happen with people in life, and we had a cancellation. And Diane Warren was so nice to come in and substitute, because there's always something going on at Victoria Theater.
Every day.
So what's going on? What you got happening over there?
Well, let's see. Tomorrow we'll have our annual meeting, and that's where we present to the community what happened last year. And I'm pleased to report that it's fabulous. We had over 450,000 people walk through one of our theaters, through Victoria Theater, Schuster Center, the Loft, last season. 450,000 people came.
Now, when you say season, is that, do you count that like 2013?
Yes, well, it's July of 2013 through June of 2014. Okay. So we have a weird fiscal year. 450,000 people. Well, it's amazing.
My God, look at some of the names. Some of the names you've had on there. I mean,
oh God.
Miss Star Wars. I call her Miss Star Wars.
Miss Star Wars. Yes. Of course, we have Carrie Fisher came. You know, last season we had War Horse, which was just phenomenal. We just wrapped up the Broadway season in June with $1 Million Quartet. Anthony Bourdain was there. Alton Brown, Celtic Woman, Straight No Chaser. I mean, just some really fabulous acts come through. We're very thrilled to be able to present. And also, you know, we have our fabulous Dayton Performing Arts Alliance. And so those people are included in that number as well, with the Nutcracker, brand new Nutcracker last year, and all the great opera and philharmonic events. So.
Did I remember correctly that you told me on the show that at a certain point of War Horse you cried?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll never forget that. And what part was that when a horse died? Does a horse die?
Well, yes, there is a horse. I mean, it's about horses in World War I, and, you know, horses against tanks. Who's going to win, really? Yeah. So, but, you know, it has a happy ending. Yeah, it's one of those great. And it was so beautiful because it was done with puppets. Just massive, huge puppetry. We had a great event out on the plaza. That's one thing that I really contributed to that 450,000 that I told you, because 40,000 of those people were brand new. That had never been to the Schuster Center or the Victoria Theater or the Loft Theater. Wow. And it's just amazing that, that we can draw that many people and have such great theatrical experiences.
Well, didn't I hear that the guys who were inside the horse did a lot of extensive training?
Oh, they were trained by the Handspring Theater Company. They are immersed in that. They are the heart, the head, the heart, and the hind, and they were phenomenal. They were so in tune that, you know, there's a funny story that one of the guys in the back, in the hind, sneezed, and they all reacted and turned it into, you know, the horse going whoa, or whatever the horses do. I'm not a puppeteer, but it was fabulous. And this season we have some really fabulous shows coming up too. In October, we have Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Wow.
Now, we've all seen that, but this is brand new. Still Andrew Lloyd Webber, Tim Rice, wonderful, but reorchestrated, re-envisioned, lots of digital imagery. And I don't know if you remember Diana DeGarmo from American Idol and Ace Young. They're married, and they're touring together. So he's Joseph, and she's the narrator, and it is phenomenal. So it's brand new, and it's hilarious. The choreography is brand new. I would not miss it. I mean, I went to Cleveland to see it just because, you know, I need to know what it's like. And, you know, I enjoyed the entire time, and I kind of dreaded it because I remembered seeing Joseph and going, oh, this is fun the first time. But this was a blast. The digital imagery used, the coat itself, the costume designer actually went to a temple in Jerusalem and based it off 12 stained glass windows representing the 12 tribes of Jacob. And it was just gorgeous. And of course, the men aren't so bad to look at either, because it's Ace Young, kind of pretty. And his brothers are pretty nice looking too, but it's also very, very funny.
Did Am I correct in assuming that Donny Osmond was the first to do that?
Not the first, but probably the most famous.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause I knew he had done
Yeah.
the Broadway show.
Definitely.
But I did not know that someone had did it before him.
This was, I want to say it premiered maybe in '68, a while back, and Donnie was still in his little brother's group then.
Yeah, he was promoting it a lot of the talk shows
Yes,
in New York
it
and
was
LA.
he was part of the revival
Yeah.
of it.
Well, you know how in theater and in film they have a thing that don't do that because you're upstaging the actor.
Right.
But in War Horse, horses don't stand still. They're always doing this,
Right,
and they can't
right.
throw anybody off or shaking their head or,
Right.
like you said, doing that thing. And there's constant moving, and I would assume the actors have to be prepared for that because if these guys and they did what they were supposed to do, you knew that that was a real horse in your mind.
Right, you felt it. You actually
felt it, yeah.
We actually had an event out on the plaza where we honored the Dayton Mounted Patrol, and we brought in some horses from the Miami Valley Rescue Equine Group, and the real horse met Joey, the big, huge puppet from War Horse, and it was amazing.
Wow.
It was awesome. I mean, the words are amazing, phenomenal, woohoo! It was great. It was just so neat to see because the horse was like, you look like a horse, you sound like a horse, you don't smell like a horse. But it was really great. We did a live TV show of the horses meeting with Living Dayton.
Yeah, I
on
was just
Channel
going
2.
to say, I saw that.
Yeah,
And I
it
was
was
very
so
impressed.
amazing
Even in
to
the
be there.
daylight.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
amazing.
And that puppet is so magical. I mean, even the eyes and the way that you forget there are people in there. So it's great theatrical
And so easy to
experience.
get tickets. You just get on the internet.
Ticketcenterstage.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, or call 228-3630.
And either that or for the Schuster or the Victoria.
Right, right.
Now, do you also work with do anything Memorial Hall or is just the Schuster?
No,
and
that's not our venue. That's I believe Dayton history.
Oh, okay.
But
That's
no,
been
we're-
sold? I didn't know that.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't know. But no, it's mainly Schuster and Victoria, and Victoria Theater. We also own and operate the Metropolitan Arts Center, which houses the Loft Theater, and that's usually the human race.
Right.
Does a lot of that stuff. So.
Ted and I were talking because we went to the movies at Victory Theater.
Oh, Ted, yeah.
Oh, Ted right
Ted.
there.
We're
We
still
took
doing
Victory
movies
Theater,
right now.
remember?
We have a summer movie series.
Yeah,
Yeah. This
I know.
weekend, The Big Lebowski.
And I was there recently with they were raising money for Tim Harrison's Outreach for Animals.
Okay.
And the Elvis.
Yes.
Ryan
Yes,
Roll.
I remember.
He was on the show last show he did.
Okay.
He was here with the 14-piece band. And God, it's so beautiful in the Victoria Theater.
No, it's gorgeous.
You know, I remember years ago people coming through here saying that had been to Broadway shows in New York, and they come to Dayton to see the old RKOs, and they went, wow. Now, I've not been to New York. I don't know what the theaters are like, but I heard people from New York would come and say, God, that RKOs are incredible.
Well, Victoria Theater is actually a Broadway sized house. A Broadway show moves into that house and does whatever it needs to do to make it fit to create all the wonderful visuals in New York. When they have to box it down and bring it on tours, when we usually put it in the Schuster Center because they make it so big, and it's such a huge. It's a spectacle. So you lose a little bit of the intimacy, I think, for some of the shows. Like I think the $1 Million Quartet we just had would have been fabulous in the Victoria, but it was also equally fabulous in the Schuster.
Yeah.
And it's just, it all comes down to, everything comes down to money. And it is very expensive for a show to sit down for 2 weeks, and it would cost twice as much to put a big show like War Horse in the Victoria than it would at the Schuster.
Sure.
So that's one reason why we focus on that 2,300-seat house with our Broadway. But we do have 2 shows this season in the Victoria, which is the play that we usually co-produce with the Human Race Theater Company, and that is Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike, which is hilarious. Sigourney Weaver and the actor Niles from Frasier, David Hyde Pierce, they all won Tonys for it. And then in October, that's in April, but this October, Smokey Joe's Cafe with the Coasters will be in, and that's 2 weeks in the Victoria, 2 weeks.
Always something
amazing.
going great with the Schuster and Victoria. All year
amazing.
long.
We have fabulous education programs. We have a family series that We have 6 shows in it. We were able to introduce 18,000 kids to theater last year in our Discovery series with workshops and camps. And you know, we don't slow down. We see ourselves, we have a responsibility to entertain, educate, and enlighten the Miami Valley.
And you guys do it so well, and I can tell they chose the right person when they chose you, because you are so into it, and that's what it takes.
I do happen to love it quite a bit.
You have to love.
Yeah.
You know the old saying is, Diane, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's a good saying.
You know, not gonna
Sometimes
say,
I feel like I'm working a lot, but you know,
Yeah.
when you're doing that third lottery for Wicked and you haven't gotten much sleep,
Yeah.
but Wicked is coming back April 29th.
Great.
So it's a wonderful job. I get to go to work in a beautiful building and work with great people.
All right. Thanks for coming, Diane. Really
My
appreciate
pleasure,
it.
always.